Welcome everyone to HueFin, where we trade different, your trusted source of news according to the price chart. We're here to give you all an update on Aurora Cannabis and looking at this article to determine whether or not should Aurora Cannabis be on your 2020 buy list. This was an article written by the Motley on November the 29th, 2019. We're going to go through that article, look at the price chart for Aurora Cannabis to determine whether or not this stock should be indeed on a buy list. If this is your first time watching our video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like and share the video, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, as well as on our website, HueFinancial.com, in order to see our many other price forecasts in the stock market. So now, should Aurora Cannabis be on your 2020 buy list? That is the question that is posed to each and every one of us by the Motley Fool. As you guys can tell, you guys been following the cannabis market, the cannabis industry for the whole half of 2019. You know that these cannabis stocks are now hitting 12-month lows. Not a surprise. All of the cannabis stock companies have saw massive movement to the downside. And considering that that has occurred, is that the reason why the Motley Fool is writing this article? Many of these cannabis companies have seen a very rough earnings season as many companies scaled back on their revenue projections amid ongoing challenges in the recreational market. Preferably, a lot of the issues are coming from Canada. And Canada, if you guys don't know, last year has made it legal to do recreational pot, but it was a major disappointment for many investors because of shortage of supply and distribution challenges. Other issues also came about as we went through 2019 for these cannabis companies. One of them was the lack of physical retail locations in Ontario and Quebec, non-compliance of some marijuana companies, and the leaders have made life more difficult for many other people in the cannabis industry as well. So we have a lack of physical retail locations in Ontario and Quebec, non-compliance for the federal regulators, and then the leaders are even making it more difficult for everyone else around. Another thing would be the stagnant or falling revenue combined with widening losses that is also keeping lenders and investors on the sidelines. This is what is making it difficult for financial institutions to This is what puts some companies in very difficult financial situations in the near term, as industry is needed to expand facilities and finance research and development and create partnerships with other markets. All right, so that is a widening problem across the cannabis sector that needs to be addressed before we see these stocks see some higher prices. All right, now the Motley Fool goes into the article looking at a specific company called Aurora Cannabis with the ticker symbol ACB. They just opened up the largest cannabis store in the country in Canada. It's 11,000 square foot retail space that is located in West Egmonton Mall in the city where Aurora Cannabis got its start. Now, in an effort to preserve its cash flow, this is what Aurora Cannabis has done. They went ahead and stopped the construction of a couple of major production facilities. One of them is called Nordic 2, which is in Denmark, and Aurora Sun, which is located in Canada. So they're not constructing those two facilities right now, just to hold on to the cash that they have in their accounts. Now, Aurora Cannabis, if you guys didn't know, did jump into the big leagues through some very aggressive acquisitions over the last couple of years. They took over or bought out Kenny Med and Red and Med Relief. Now, this gave Aurora the scale and reach to compete nationally in Canada and that advantage should still hold value once the industry gets through this current rough period. So what this article is telling us for the moment is that Aurora Cannabis should be on your buy list due to the acquisition that they did for CandyMed and Med Relief. And then they have one of the biggest retail facilities in West Egmonton, which is about 11,000 square foot. So far, this article is telling us, or reading to us, that Aurora Cannabis is in fact should be on the 2020 buy list. According to this article, when it was written on the 29th of November, it was trading at $3.50 per share compared to what it was in March, which was at $13. Massive move to the downside. Now, the market capitalization is down to about 3.7 billion, which is still expensive for a business with only a quarterly net cannabis revenue of $70 million with no profits going into the bank. They're losing money. Now, in the event Ontario and Quebec can deliver on substantial new retail store opening next year, Aurora Cannabis should benefit from that. Their revenue should improve if Ontario and Quebec doesn't place a hamper on the opening of more retail establishments in those cities. It will bring interest back into Aurora Cannabis per this article. Now, contrarian investors who have a bullish view on the cannabis sector might want to start buying at these companies at these very low prices. But Andrew, who is the author of this article, is saying that he would keep any new investment small. There is a risk of more downside before we see the bottom, especially if the broader equity market goes through a correction in the next few months, simply meaning that if the overall market sentiment changes from this seemingly looks like we're almost every day we're hitting record highs in the stock market. If we hit a recession, or if the recession jargon and language starts being plastered all over the media and on articles, then Aurora Cannabis can in fact follow suit, is what he's saying. So keep that in mind as we go throughout 2020. But I mean, when you look at the price chart, so now we're going to look at the price charts to see whether or not Aurora Cannabis is in fact should be on the 2020 buy list. Because Andrew, all of this words on this article, he did not tell us whether or not Aurora Cannabis should be on a buy list. Only thing that he stated was that contrarian investors who have a bullish view on the sector might want to start nibbling, but he will keep any new investment small. And that's it. He didn't say whether or not yay or nay that Aurora Cannabis should be on a buy list. So we're going to have to look at the price chart for Aurora Cannabis to determine that same factor. Now, before I do, I wanted to go ahead and show you how the market in Aurora Cannabis has traded since our last video, which was on the 27th of November. And you can tell that the market in Aurora Cannabis has held support right there around $2.40. We had a TP at that particular location of about 4.4%. Okay, we hit that area numerous trading days in the market for Aurora Cannabis. And so what we're going to do now, we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. If you were just to be in this market right now, Aurora Cannabis, you'll be down 5.2%. But seemingly how we said that for $2.40 would be TP, we'll take that 4.4% forecast profit. All right. Now what I'm going to do, we're going to switch this back over to a bigger time frame of a weekly price chart to show you why we are noticing the market in Aurora Cannabis can see some higher prices throughout 2020. Okay, so all the way first, I wanted to show you from the high back here on the 18th of March all the way to where we are now has been a 74.44% loss in the market. So that is very substantive, in the least, for us to make mention of. Okay, now what occurred right here on this price bar indicates that we have seen some activity that we haven't seen at all since this stock has been traded on the New York Stock Exchange, right? We haven't seen this much volume at all. This is the record high of volume we've seen for Aurora Cannabis. That means something. And what does it mean? It means that the buyers of the market came into Aurora Cannabis at this particular price level. I would say from $2.30 all the way up there to around $3 is where the market participated and consumed and bought up some of this very cheap stock in the market. Now, the probability is still there, just as Andrew said in his article, for Aurora Cannabis to continue to see some lower prices. But as you can tell, I'm going to move this area here since the market is not trading at $4. This is where market support is currently placed in Aurora Cannabis. So we could see the market in Aurora Cannabis come down here to $2 during 2020, no doubt about it. So this is going to be a very probabilistic chance in the market for Aurora Cannabis, but nevertheless, we are still noticing that the market in Aurora Cannabis for the year of 2020 is still projected to see some higher prices. I do like the weekly chart in the market for Aurora Cannabis. We are seeing a lot more volume than what we noticed previously on the weekly price bars. All of that indicates that we are noticing some buyers coming into the market for Aurora Cannabis. And that's how we're going to have to play the market in Aurora Cannabis. We're going to play it moving to the upside in price on a daily basis now. But overall, the market still has potential. I would say maybe 35–40% chance of getting to this $2 level, which would be about a 24% loss from where we are at the close on Friday. Okay, so just keep that in mind as well. But what we're going to do, we're going to bring the market back up to that $2.40 level, which will be about 9.5% movement loss. But overall, we're going to anticipate the market in Aurora Cannabis to see some higher prices, and it's going to be minimal and small. I mean, maybe about 6.84% move to the upside. Try to hit that $2.81 price. If not, a bigger move can occur to where the market can come all the way up here to $3.12. Okay. Before the time being, we're just going to play the market right there around $2.80 to continue to see some higher prices. And this is our new update into the market in Aurora Cannabis. I'm just literally seeing some indications of consolidation of trading. 35–40% chance that the market can hit that $2 level as we trade throughout 2020. But overall, right now, what the market is giving us is merely consolidation of trading and the ability to see some higher prices. And it's still there to where the market can hit $2.95, $3, but it will require a lot of market participation. So this is it. Comment, questions, let us know with a comment in the comment section of this video. And as always, like we always state, make sure you always maintain your profitability, and I will see you on the next one.